K18 says it can reverse hair damage in 4 minutes, but one independent study found it mostly stays on the surface, while Olaplex went deeper. That's not just a small detail, it flips the whole marketing story. I'm a chemistry graduate and I've recommended K18 before, but once I looked closer at the science, I had questions. So in this video, I'm breaking down what K18 actually does, what it doesn't, and whether it's worth the hype, or the $75. And if you want a dead simple hair care routine that doesn't depend on one miracle product, there's a cheat sheet below. Hair damage isn't just cosmetic. It's frustration, it's breakage, it's money, hours at the hairdressers, and sometimes a little identity lost in the shower drain. And when that happens, we're told there's a fix. If we act fast, buy the right bottle, trust the sciencey language, but that pressure is not just about hair. It's about a system that profits when we feel one bad decision away from ruining everything. So is K18 the breakthrough it claims to be, or just an expensive band-aid on a bigger insecurity? The pitch is slick.
If my hair mask doesn't reverse damage in 4 minutes from the inside out, doesn't actually repair my hair from the bleach, blow drying, putting my straightener on too high, if it isn't scientifically proven to make my hair feel smooth, soft, bouncy, so I only need the tiniest amount and I don't need to wash it out, if it isn't recommended by my hairstylist, I don't want it. And that's a wrap.
K18 uses a lab-designed peptide that mimics keratin, slips into your hair and reconnects broken strands. Not just coating the damage, reversing it in 4 minutes. You hear it everywhere. Stylists say it, influencers swear by it, and the brand is all microscope shots, peptide diagrams, and clinical language. And if you don't use it, the message is subtle but clear. Your hair won't recover. It'll stay weak and keep breaking. It's a belief that sounds smart, but when I started pulling on that thread, I realized how carefully built that belief actually was. Because when K18 was tested against Olaplex, same bleach, same strands, same conditions, the results told a different story. K18 did something, but it stayed mostly on the surface. Under the microscope, there wasn't much happening deeper in the hair shaft. So if it's not rebuilding your hair from the inside, what is K18 actually doing? This is where the science gets blurry and the marketing gets bold. K18 doesn't call itself a conditioner. It's not just a bond builder like Olaplex either. It calls itself molecular repair. The star ingredient is a patented peptide, SH oligopeptide 78, branded as K18's peptide. It's what's called biomimetic, which means it's designed to mimic fragments of keratin, the main protein in your hair. The idea is the peptide is small enough to slip into the hair shaft and act like a patch, reconnecting broken chains of protein from the inside out. Imagine your hair is a frayed rope. K18 claims to be a kind of molecular duct tape, sliding in and rebinding the broken strands. And according to marketing, it repairs damage at the molecular level in 4 minutes. It's not being sold as a nice mask, it's being sold like biotech. But when researchers actually tested K18 next to Olaplex, using the same bleach damage, same conditions, the results were quieter. Under the microscope, K18 formed a smooth coating on the outside of the hair shaft. It filled in cracks, it made the cuticle look better, the hair felt softer, and that's real. But when they looked deeper into the cortex, which is the actual structure inside, there wasn't much going on. Meanwhile, Olaplex did penetrate. It formed a visible sheet inside the fibre and boosted strength by nearly 48%. K18 was about 19.5%. So yeah, K18 made hair feel smoother, but most of what it did on the outside, which begs the question, If that peptide isn't reaching the core of your hair, is it really rebuilding anything? And this is where the line between science and marketing gets creative. In beauty, words like repair and rebuild sound technical, but they're not regulated. They're just persuasive. Hair that feels softer and breaks less can feel repaired, even if nothing on the inside has actually changed. So here's what's actually happening. K18's formula doesn't just contain the peptide. It also has B-hen-trimonium chloride, which is a detangler, aryl alcohol, which is a fatty alcohol that softens, and hydrolyzed wheat protein, which temporarily strengthens the surface. These are the same kinds of ingredients you'll find in a drugstore hair mask or a nice leave-in. So yeah, the peptide might do something, but the silky, strongish feeling most people report, that's probably coming from those conditioning ingredients, not deep structural repair. And here's the part that nobody really wants to say. Your hair is dead. It can't regenerate and it doesn't heal. You can patch it, you can smooth it, but once the internal protein structure breaks, it's broken. Even K18's inventors don't say that it restores hair. They say it mimics keratin, improves feel, and adds elasticity, not rebuilds it back to its original. Think of it as snapping a piece of dry spaghetti. You can glue the ends, you can wrap tape around it, but you're never getting that same perfect structure again. That's what most damage repair products, including K18, are really doing. They're patching things up, temporarily reinforcing the weak spots. It is helpful, but it's not a time machine. So if K18 makes your hair feel better, but the action is mostly superficial, is it still worth it? Are we paying biotech prices for a really good surface treatment? When a $75 bottle is framed as your last hope for damaged hair, you don't treat it like a conditioner. If you're anything like me, you ration it. You double cleanse before every use. You cut out silicons, buy their shampoo, and hope this one routine is the fix. Not because it's working, but because you're scared to get it wrong. And that's not just beauty culture, that's how the industry makes its money. Each pump costs around $1.50, and most people need 2 to 4 pumps, so it adds up fast. And now Unilever own it, not because they love hair, but because they know exactly what sells. The worst part isn't the money, it's what happens when it doesn't work. You don't blame the product, you blame yourself. Maybe your hair's too far gone, maybe you didn't prep it properly, maybe you need to buy the next step. That's the lie. Not that K18 is useless, but that it's the only thing keeping your hair from falling apart. Now, I've recommended it before, and for some damaged hair, it can help. But after looking deeper into the science, I think the positioning needs a reality check. It does help, but most of the results, the smoothness, the strength you feel, they're coming from the basic conditioner ingredients, not from some futuristic peptide glue. You can get similar results from a $10 protein mask. Maybe not identical, but close enough that the price difference matters. So if K18 is working for you, that's great. But if you haven't bought it and you're feeling FOMO, you're not behind, you're just informed. This isn't about walking anything back. It's about updating the advice as the evidence comes in. That's the job. You don't need to feel bad for buying it, and you definitely don't need to feel bad for skipping it. What matters is knowing why something works, so your decisions feel like yours, not just reactions to fear or urgency or the words clinically proven. K18 isn't the villain here, but it is a perfect example of how beauty marketing works when you mix sciencey buzzwords with panic. It's no longer just about results. It's about molecules, promises, and the fear of missing a breakthrough. And the more we understand the difference between what works and what's just been sold as working, the less power that loop has over us. So K18 can be useful. So can a $10 mask. But peace comes from knowing the difference and choosing with clarity and not panic.